Hi, my name's Chris Mancini. I've been working and training with dogs for over 30 years now. Google is a golden retriever. Originally was destined to be an assistance dog, but he had scurfy skin, so he now goes into schools with Sandy, his owner, working with children, often with behaviour problems, where he demonstrates his assistance dog behaviours, but he also demonstrates some reading, which is really useful with children with learning difficulties and literacy problems to encourage them to actually read as well. When people hear that we've taught Google to read, they picture him opening a book and reading it and actually understanding what the book says, but obviously we haven't quite taught him that yet. What we do have is flashcards with different behaviours on them. So we've got here, this is Google's repertoire. He's got a down, a sit, a stand, a bow, a turn, which is just turning in a circle, touch, cross paws, walk back, speak, and up. All it means is, as well as having these cues on a verbal cue, he's actually got them on a visual. Now, we're not entirely sure how they do actually read the words, whether it's looking at the shapes or what it is. All we do, exactly the same as if we were going to give a new cue to the dog, is we give them this cue, first of all, the visual cue, the new card, and then we give them their verbal cue and make sure it's got a solid verbal cue. You can get away with it by using a visual cue. By this I mean a hand signal of some description, but it's easier if it's just on the verbal initially. So what we would do, we would flash the card, say down to the dog. We generally start with the down because often they'll sit as a default behaviour. Sandy, down. Yes, good girl. Chuck the food away really, and then they're going to get up. Down. Yes, good girl. What you notice there, I probably just gave a little extra second between showing the card down. So I'm almost, yes, good girl, I'm almost giving her the opportunity to think, oh, last time that card flashed up, she said that word down. 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 Very good girl, well done. Shall we try that again? Down. Yes, good girlie. Well done. Down. Yes. Just giving her a very quiet verbal cue now. Sandy. Down. Yes, good girl. So hopefully the little cogs are starting to whir. Down. Yes, good girl. I'm going to try and hold out a little bit longer this time, just to give her the opportunity to think about it. It's really tempting to nod your head or glance down to the floor just to help them. Down. Good girl. So I just gave her a little verbal one because I don't want her to get stressed about what have I got to do, what have I got to do. Down. Yes, good girl. She's very nearly there, aren't you? Good girlie. Sandy. It's actually quite hard because I've got to concentrate, so really you don't want to do more than sort of 2 or 3 minutes at a time. Yes! Hallelujah! Good girl. You're getting a break for that and you get a jackpot. Good girl. So Sandy's never done anything like this before, so that was really difficult for her. And she was actually really focused because normally she would actually be saying, well, I better do this, do this, do this. So she knew something different was up. And she's actually given me that with just having the card in front of her. At the moment, she's quite probably thinking that wiggling a piece of paper around is the new cue for down. So once they've done it 3 or 4 times with no verbal cue or visual cue, then we'd go to the next card, because you've got to fairly quickly bring in 2 or 3 cards. So what we'll do, we'll give Sandy a break and we'll bring in a fresh dog. So this is Duffy. I've started a tiny bit, but I haven't actually really done much with him. So hopefully we can just see a little bit more that was going on. But I shall start how we started with Sandy, just so I'm going to show the card and give the cue. Well done, Duffy. I think that was more luck than judgment. Down. Gives the verbal cue. Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. I gave no cue then. As I say, he has done it a little tiny bit before, so he's got a head start on Sandy. Yes, good boy. So if we do a couple more downs, and then I'm going to change it to sit. Yes, good boy. I'm not worried if it takes a little bit of time for them at the moment to sink in. Down, good boy, well done. So, that's your first letter introduced. So what I'm going to do now, exactly the same as what we did with Sandy. Duff, Duff, sit. Oops. Sit, good boy. Oh, he said there must be something harder than sit. Duffy, sit. Yes, good boy. Yes. We'll do one more of these and then we'll switch it for a down and see if anything's sunk in. Yes. That's a very good boy, well done. So I'd probably at this stage go back and just help them again down a couple of times just to get them on track. Yes, good boy. Because if they start offering 5 or 6 different behaviours before they finally get it, then basically it's like go through my repertoire and then when I get the right one I'm going to get a reward, which they're not really truly learning what they're supposed to be learning. Yes, good boy. Try switching them about a bit more. Yes, good boy. Get in a click or marker early. Yes, good boy, well done. You don't want to just keep alternating them because again they'll learn a routine, because dogs are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. Yes, good boy. And then I would actually quite quickly add in your third letter, your third word, back. Yes, good boy. When you do make up your cards, make sure you use reasonable size, of a similar size, and something quite bold, and so that they've got half a chance of, you know, because they're not going to say that's S-T-A-N-D, they're just going to kind of look at the things. I don't know if they look at the shape or the amount of extra words in, or they might pick out that there's that shape in the middle and that's the backup cue. Google's got 10 commands on these visual flashcards. We introduced the first probably 3 or 4 fairly quickly, got them solid, mix and match them, and say don't have them in a regular routine because they do pick up on a routine otherwise. Sometimes you do sort of 2 or 3 sits and one down and then a stand, and obviously if they're in a stand already you're better to show them a different one. And he's doing what I was just saying a moment ago, and he's just second guessing now, and he says I think I'll see if offer a paw. So now I say down, good boy, well done. He doesn't get a treat for it, good boy, well done, but he does get good boy. That's a back, yes, well done, because you don't know that one yet, do you, to be fair? I'm being a little bit harsh on you. And I'm just going to do one more sit, excellent, good boy. And give him a break as well, because again, he's getting tired now. I can tell because he's just, whereas you did very well, didn't you? And I say it's quite tiring because they do focus and concentrate. The more words you have, then the more chance of making a few mistakes. Okay, and the other important thing is, if they're standing there going, sit, down, stand, oh, well, they've got it now because it will stand any rate. So after 3 attempts of something else, they've got it. If we reward them for that, then they're never going to actually learn what I got it for. They've just learned, oh, well, I've gone through this little routine and I finally got it and I got a reward for it. So you don't not reward them, you don't tell them off or tell them they're wrong. You simply don't give them the food reward that they're expecting. You just tell them, good dog, well done. Get up, walk around or something so that they get up and move away, and then try it again. So then you're only going to start rewarding when they get it on the first shot. Okay? So you're going to do that a fair few times until they're again pretty solid, getting that sit, that down, that stand and that turn first time every time. Then what happens is then obviously they might do a slow sloppy sit. Good dog, okay, let's do your next cue. So you're starting to vary when they get the reward, so they're not getting a reward for every time. So just short training sessions and then give them a break. But you can give them a break for half hour, let them go and chill, and then have another little go just for 2 or 3 minutes again. You can normally get the first 2 or 3 words within about 3 training, like 2 minutes training sessions, just to give them an idea.